Hello, lovely souls, and welcome to day 4 of our 31 Days of Tarot. This is a tarot challenge that was created by the lovely and wonderful Ethne Dawn, and I will link in the description box below to her blog post where she provides all of the prompts of the 31 Days of Tarot. And that's really what it is, lovely. Every single day in January, we are coming here and we are talking about tarot. So today's prompt, we are talking about the top 5 tarot books that were purchased or released in 2017. And these are all books that I acquired in 2017, this year. And really, if we're gonna go by like order of when I acquired them, then we kind of need to start with this one. So I didn't get very far into this book. However, I picked it up probably around middle of the year. I really didn't buy any books until like June. I have no idea why. I just kind of had been using my traditional ride or die books, and I realized like kind of need to step up my tarot game a little bit and stop using the same old stuff that I had been using over and over and over again. I wanted some more resources other than just blog posts, which, don't get me wrong, our tarot community, freaking knowledge and experience up the yin yang. You could do an entire self-study just on freaking blog posts from some of these bloggers, like, blow me away. But I kind of wanted to get a couple books that were very specialized, and that's kind of where this one came in. So this one's by Deborah Lipp. I love her work anyway, and this is Tarot Interactions. So the whole point of this book, you know, the premise is talking about the different tarot cards and pairings and telling that story and making the connections between the cards. Because it's one thing to have all of the meanings memorized. I mean, there are 78 cards, so don't get me wrong. There's a crap ton of meaning in each card. That takes a long time to memorize. It really does. But seeing how those cards interact with each other in a spread, telling a story, like, that's where this book came into play. And it's one of my goals for 2018 to finally freaking finish this book. But that is something that I'm working on to better myself as a tarot reader, is to really work on my storytelling skills and really getting to telling a cohesive story and giving that vision and that message very cohesively. I know I keep repeating that word, but it's kind of the goal. So that's where this lovely book came into play. I've enjoyed what I've read so far, but I really love Deborah's writing. She's so down to earth, and she just freaking gives it to you straight. So I'm really excited to finish this one in 2018. The second one, okay, so I had to pick this up because, again, artists, like, how could I not? I even bought like a set of Prismacolor pencils to use just for this, because the original set of colored pencils that I was going to use, my kids stole. Of course they did. They're elementary school kids. And then just like freaking jacked my colored pencils. I was like, nope, I'm getting a new set. That's going in mommy's office. You can't touch those. So finally I'll be able to get around to coloring more pages in this. But this is the tarot coloring book by the lovely tarot lady, Theresa. Love her feed. Go check her out if you haven't already. This book, I mean, basically, okay, you have tarot meanings on one side, and you have a full printout Rider-Waite Smith of the card that you can just color in. And it's not only meditative, because hello, adult coloring, how can you not love that? But really ingrains the imagery in your brain. Like, it's kind of hard to describe. If you're not one that has worked with the Rider-Waite-Smith deck over and over again to where the images are just like there in your brain, this is a really good training exercise because you're really looking at placement of figures and symbols and what's going on inside of the card so that you're really getting the meaning to stick. So it's a really good study book. For anybody that's new and wanting to learn the tarot, this is freaking fantastic right here. This is like your study guide / flashcard / excuse to color as an adult, like all in one right here. So that has been fun to go through, even though I kind of had to pause in the summer because I was like, I have nothing to color with. Okay, so this next one, oh my God, you guys, this book like blew my mind. So during Ethany's lovely tarot summer school, I was introduced to the fucking amazing Benebell and took her class, Tarot and Shadow Work by activating dynamic power. You cannot purchase this book. What you do is you take her course, and you still can. You guys, it was only $28 the last time I checked. I'll link to the class below. She wrote you a book for this class. And then she'll give you all of the data files that you need to go and self-print this from Lulu Publishing, okay, which is a self-publishing printer. So you would just upload everything. She even gives you this gorgeous cover. You plug everything in. It costs like $7 to print this book, and it's legit. It's a book on shadow work in tarot. Like, and this book has blown my mind. Working through it all the way through the end of summer and fall has just been, it's a game changer. I really don't know how to explain it other than that. This has been a significant game changer, not just in my tarot practice, but in my personal spiritual practice. Shadow work is something that is necessary for everybody. Anyway, you have to dig at those parts that you don't want to look at in order to pull stuff up and be able to grow as a person. And going through this and going through Benebell's methods of cultivating personal power, and this is definitely an advanced course, but she breaks it down in a way that's very easily digestible. So don't let the book intimidate you. It's really easy to get through this, like, to blow through it because you're just so engrossed in the material. She's not a dry writer, which for an attorney is really impressive, might I say. I work with attorneys all day long, and girl, you're a good writer. So this was like by my side all through the end of summer and through fall and now through winter. I keep going back to this book, which led me to my fourth book, which is her holistic tarot book. Now, if this book looks intimidating, I understand. I even spoke long enough. But this is your college textbook on tarot. Right here. This is your advanced college course on tarot. All in one. She even gives you study guides on her website to print out, whether you're in the beginner, intermediate, or professional advanced stages of your tarot practice. Use the study guides. Even if you're at the advanced stage, start at beginner. That's what I'm doing. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. She breaks everything down. There is so much information here to consider. And it's not a book that you just kind of read through beginning to end and that's it, like you just retain it all. This is one of those that you read a chapter, you write notes about it, you think about it, you integrate it into your practice, you go back, you read another chapter, you integrate it, you process it. So you really do have to approach this as though you would like a college self-study course. I know that's really extreme for a lot of people to kind of wrap their head around, like, it's fucking tarot. Yes, but there's so much richness and history and meaning and stuff to tarot that something like this was kind of needed in the community, and she really just went at it and filled that niche. So, oh my God, thank you, Benebell. This is like, if you were only ever to purchase one book on tarot, I kind of think this would be it right here. It's like the only thing you ever need. Now, this book I purchased because I finally bought the Wildwood Tarot. It was one of the decks that had been on my wish list for a really long time, and I finally crossed it off this year. And this year, the author came out with the Wildwood Tarot Workbook, Wild Magic. So I haven't really dived into this yet, but it was an acquisition for 2017, even though it was just, this past month. And I'm really excited to dive into this. This is a study book specifically to use with the Wildwood Tarot deck, which is such a gorgeous, very pagan, very druid deck. Also, I feel very wintry. There's a lot of, snow-covered trees in a lot of the images in the deck. And it's just, it's a really good shaman deck and druid deck, in my opinion. So going through this workbook and the specific archetypes, I think is going to be really fun because it does deviate slightly from the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith structure, if you will. So having a little workbook is pretty convenient. And I'm all for reading and diving into the guidebooks that come with each deck. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do. And for the longest time, I really wasn't purchasing like tarot books. I was just going off of the creators and the author's guidebook. Like, what was the creator's intention of the meanings for this particular card? And that is really what got me through the first, 7, 8, 10, maybe 10 years of my tarot practice, perhaps. Like, the only book that I had for the longest time was Tarot Plain and Simple by Anthony Lewis. And that was it. And I didn't even buy that until I was like 25, maybe? Has it been that long? Yeah, probably like only 7 years ago. So for like the good first decade that I was using tarot, I was really only working off of the little white books and the guidebooks that came with the decks. So if you're like me, those will get you through. But obviously, my practice has changed a little bit over the years. And just this past year, you see 5 books right here just on the tarot that I picked up. And I'm like, I'm going to gobble this stuff up. Now, I haven't gone through everything in all of these books yet. In fact, the only one that I've read cover to cover is Tarot and Shadow Work. But I'm still getting through a lot of these at a pretty healthy clip. So I'm hoping to continue that into 2018 and really wrap these up quite nicely. And maybe even come back on the channel and share with you guys like a follow-up, like my thoughts on how these books went and whether or not you should pick them up. Regardless, I highly, highly, highly recommend Benebell's Shadow Working Tarot course. It's freaking phenomenal. All right, loves. That is it for this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already so that you don't miss out on the rest of the 31 days of tarot. And I will catch you in tomorrow's video. Until then, blessed be.